Well, it's a useless question. Does anybody take their pants off? I'm not, I'm actually not wearing any pants. Yes, it is. Where's it coming from? Oh, I don't mean geographically. I mean, who'd you buy it from? Okay. Well, they're good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Echols, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. Here I sit in my luxurious attic. We have a phone line open if you'd like to give us a call. The phone number is on your screen. The email address is on your screen as well, probably. I mean, almost always is, and it probably is now. But if it's not, it's KECHOLS47 at gmail.com. And you can give us a call or send us a. Boy, that's loud, isn't it? Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, hey Ken, I
Hey,
heard today that Trump, he been calling Putin. They got him on tape. Well, that's 2 to 3 years. He done called Putin by 7 times. Now you know that is absolutely it's crazy. I don't know what that dictator of murder, Putin. So I'm gonna tell you truly, people that vote for Trump got to be crazy. But I don't think we worry about Trump being no president of the United States no more. What he needs to do, go and live with Putin. And thank you, Ken. You're doing a good job.
well, thanks for calling. I appreciate your call. Some news out today about the Woodward book and some of the allegations it makes, and we'll say something about that in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Did you hear the rumors going around?
I hear a lot of rumors. Which ones do you have in mind?
I didn't know the government had a weather machine.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I heard that.
Well, I want it back.
Is it yours?
Yeah, it's my property.
How'd you lose track of it?
Well, I just lost it.
You know,
You know,
it's kind of a big thing to lose.
well, it ain't that big. It's just a box. You can open it and do things. Touch buttons and stuff. But well, I'll just call it a loss. Don't want to get in no trouble.
All right. Well, good. Did you have it insured?
No.
Well, I guess you're out of luck then.
Oh yeah, but that's all right. Lose some, you win some, lose some. But I called to remind you and Mark Mayadan, the Masked Singer, tonight on Channel 8 on your local Fox station.
8 o'clock. right? 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got some bad news for you about Dancing with the Stars.
What is it?
You know the older guy with the glasses?
Guy with the glasses, yeah. Is he off the show?
Yeah, he got eliminated last night. And the guy from, I think it's Family. In other words, it started with that. His neighbor was that Urkel guy. I forgot the name of the show.
I know the show. I don't remember the name of it either, but I remember Urkel.
Yeah, yeah, he played the policeman in there. He got voted off too.
Okay, so the guy with the glasses is gone. Now that's too bad. I don't know. I'm not certain about this since I don't watch it. Obviously, I don't know. But I wonder if a person with glasses has ever won Dancing with the Stars.
I don't think so, but it was the older guy, not the young guy.
So there's two guys with glasses. One was in the Olympics.
Yeah, yeah, it was a old guy with glasses and a nerd who done gymnastics.
A nerd, a nerd who did gymnastics. So he could still win then.
Hopefully, but I'm uh, I'm counting on the big Olympic girl to win.
Okay. Well, does she wear glasses?
No, she don't. She kind of tall. She kind of strong. She can turn her partner over. Do things with him that he couldn't do with her. Flip her around.
Okay. Well, that certainly sounds like fun. But I was hoping that somebody with glasses would win.
Well, keep your hopes up. It still might happen. They still got a couple of more episodes to go.
Okay. Well, thanks for that update.
Well, can't wait for the very important good race to come on November the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Well, it's coming,
Oh, yeah, it's Martinsville.
right? It won't be
Yeah.
long.
Well, I'm going to yield the rest of my time to somebody, and
Well, thank you.
I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to have to do with the loss of something I lost.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling, and good luck with
Bye, sir.
whatever it is that you end up having to do with whatever that was.
Well,
Hang on.
well, I'm going on vacation next week, so I have plenty of time to get into mischief.
Okay, well, thanks for calling. Mischief, of course, is his specialty. The phone line is open at that number, and the email address is up there too. Vladimir Putin, or at least Vladimir Putin's people, had some things to say about this Woodward book. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good evening, Ken. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine too, and I just like to know that let that fellow know that I'm not crazy, and I'm gonna vote for Trump. Period. And I'm gonna take it 20 this week at Charlotte.
Okay, Leon has the 20 at the Roval. And Leon, it is in the book.
Thank you, Ken. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Leon. Good to hear from you. I appreciate that. We have not yet heard, we don't even have picks from the Liberal, from Mr. Draper. Well, I guess Mr. Draper is the 5. Yeah, Mr. Draper will have the 5, I'm sure. We don't have pick from the Liberal. We don't have a pick yet from Captain Midnight, or from Tar Heel in Mayodan, or from the Avenger. So it's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 that we don't have. I did get an email from Captain Midnight, didn't have his pick in it, but he has corrected me for an oversight. He reminded me that the correct name of his entry is Captain Midnight and the Lady in Black. So I'll remember that. Hi, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, Mark from Marion.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Yeah. Okay. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Anyway, when I get done, you can remind people about the Boy Scout shoe. Not this weekend, but next weekend.
19th. I will do that.
Okay, and I didn't get to watch The Boys last night because somebody texted me and told me to watch Dancing with the Stars because Gene Simmons was on there.
Was he on?
Yeah, it was judged last night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I watched Dancing with Stars last night. That was the first time I watched it. I never watched it before.
Well, did you like it?
Yeah, it was all right.
It was all
And
right. Okay.
yeah, it was all right. But yeah, Gene Simmons on there. I guess he did all right. Okay, I guess.
Well, I guess he did. I'm glad you got a chance to see him. Gene Simmons, I know, is one of your heroes, and it's good that you had a chance to see him.
Yeah, and I was going to remind you. I don't know if you know about it. What the Hay Festival is this Saturday in Mid-End.
The
At
what?
10. It starts at 10.
The what? The Hay Festival
Yeah, it starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
in Mayodan. What is the
Yeah,
what? The Hay Festival?
it's where they go around and judge the hay bales that people drew stuff on and stuff,
Oh,
and
okay, good.
and then they have some bands playing. It's like a street scene.
All right. It's hay art.
Yeah, with the hay. Yeah, with the hay
Yeah.
festival.
All right. Well, that sounds like fun, Mark.
Okay, well, just you got all the details about the stew, right?
I do.
The Mid-End Boy Scouts.
I've
Mid-End Boy Scouts.
got it right in front of me. Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go where you can tell people about that.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. Good to talk to
Thanks,
you.
Ken.
What about that stew? It's coming up on October 19th. October 19th is the day of the stew. The Mayodan Boy Scouts, the number to call if you'd like to reserve yourself a quart of stew or a gallon, however much you want to reserve, I guess. It's $9 a quart. $9 a quart. And you can call this number, 336 949 4248. It's Brunswick Stew, Saturday, October 19th, 336 949 4248. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Vladimir Putin had some comments today about the Woodward book. We'll get to that in a second. Hi, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, thank you, Ken, for taking my call.
Sure.
A suggestion to you.
Okay.
The people that don't call in on their number in time, you could just use the whatever number they had 2 weeks earlier.
That's right.
And it automatically, if they don't call in, and they could stay in the system.
Well, that's a good idea. I appreciate it. So far, nobody has missed a deadline, not even once yet. But if somebody ever does, that's just what I'll do.
That'll work. Look, getting off good subjects on to something else.
Okay.
About the war over in the Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
Iran and Israel especially.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the conversation that Biden and the Israeli president had, that they'll hold off till after the election before they do something to Iran.
What do you think that they're likely to do, whether it's after the election or whenever? I mean, we know they're going to do something. What do you think they're going to do?
I think they're going to probably bomb. The first thing they'll bomb is the missiles that shoot down planes.
Right.
They'll bomb them, and they may bomb the nuclear facilities that they can find, and then thirdly, they'll bomb the oil refineries and production that Iran has, where they get their money from. I think that's the three things that they'll bomb.
Well, I expect those are absolutely three things that they are talking about and planning for right now. As far as when they'll do it, obviously they're not going to give any clues about when they will do it, but they're going to do it. They're going to do something. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Well, they say they go anytime somebody does something to them, they go up at 3 to 10 times as much back on the whoever's doing something to them.
That's
But
their policy.
if Iran follows the same policy, they can shut down the oil going through the Gulf over there. So, it can be escalating and escalate.
Right? Iran has done that before in years past, and they are capable of doing that again. It's something that we all need to be, well, I guess the way to put it, straight way to put it is we all need to be worried about what they are going to do, because that this could lead to a very, very bad situation. Not that it isn't a bad situation already.
We've been giving Israel 2,000-pound bombs, just a whole lot of them that they're using to bomb the Palestinians with. They've killed, 40, 50, maybe even 100,000 Palestinians with the bombs they're getting from us. So we have a little bit of control over Israel if we want to do something.
Well, we have some control, but we are where it's complicated is that we are bound by treaty to defend Israel and to assure Israel's existence. And we have, ever since 1948, we have been true to that treaty, and we're going to be true to it now. But the details of that, of course, are up to Israel in large measure. But I don't think, for example, if we were to say, okay, if you do this and you do that, we're going to stop providing you with weapons. I doubt that Israel would take that seriously, because I don't think we would do it.
Well, we might not, but they depend on us for, 80 to 70, 80% of their weapons.
Right.
And 2,000-pound bombs dropped on somebody's house or hospitals and all, it's not in that treaty. We need to, 2,000-pound bombs, we need to quit sending them. But it gets back to what Dwight D. Eisenhower said, that we need to beware of the military-industrial complex.
He did, yes.
And that's what's now, they spend a whole lot of money, send it up out of Washington to the politicians, so they can get their way and they can keep making the big bucks that they're making.
And that was Dwight Eisenhower's, that was his farewell speech. That was his last speech as a public figure. He talked about the military-industrial complex, and he said, well, exactly what you just said. Beware of it.
Well, let me tell you what happened. The people that make tanks, we're going to have to lay some people off. So they give some money to politicians, and they give $2 billion to Egypt to buy $2 billion worth of tanks, and the money stay over here, and they sent the tanks over there to Sinai Desert, but they didn't have anybody to maintain them, and they activated the Wentworth National Guard unit, which is a tank maintenance unit, to go to Sinai Desert to show the Egyptians how to maintain the tanks.
When was that?
That was about 10 years ago.
I didn't know that. Didn't know
they
activated.
They activated the Wentworth. They call it the Reidsville National Guard Maintenance Unit, to go to Sinai Desert to teach the Egyptians how to maintain their tanks. And you check it out, all because that guy that made the tanks wanted to keep his people working.
Well, there's no doubt that the defense industry spends, take your pick, how many billions of dollars the defense
Right.
industry spends to influence policy in Washington, and they do influence it, no doubt about it.
Okay, well, look, I'm taking up now 2 minutes, so I appreciate you taking my call.
Thanks for calling. Phone line is open right now. The email address is up there for you as well. The Woodward book came out, and a caller alluded to it earlier. The Carl Woodward book said a lot of things. Two things it says were that Donald Trump has been on the phone with Vladimir Putin at least 7 times since he left the White House. And also it said that Trump was sending COVID tests to Russia at a time when we were short on COVID tests in this country. The Trump campaign has vehemently denied sending any COVID tests to Russia. And they had several things to say about Bob Woodward, sleazebag and liar, and the list of stuff that said at no time did we ever send COVID tests to Russia. Today, Vladimir Putin has said that we did do that. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, I heard that same thing. But you know why Trump's denying it?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
You do realize why Trump's denying it, right?
Well, you tell me.
Because Putin told him not to tell anybody.
Well, now Putin, though, is telling people.
He's telling his own people?
Well, the Kremlin issued a news release, and Putin said, this is what Putin said. Putin said that President Trump did send COVID tests to Russia, as is described in the book.
Uh-huh. Well, that makes sense, because all Putin's after anyway is to divide this country, you know, in my opinion.
Well, of course, Putin wants to do that. Now, on the other hand, about the phone calls, the statement from the Kremlin said that the story about the COVID tests is true, that Trump did send them COVID tests. And then it says the story about the phone calls is not true. So that's the word from Vladimir Putin today.
Oh, okay. Well, that don't surprise me either, Ken. It really don't. I mean, you know, Donald Trump took all those records, top secret documents and everything with him when he left. And we don't know who in the world he shared those things with. But it surely wouldn't surprise me if he shared them with Putin.
Well, you know, I mean, I would hate to think that happened.
I would too, Ken. It would really be a sad thing, but it surely wouldn't shock me. I mean, every day is something with Trump that, I mean, they had this rumor going around about aliens in Ohio eating cats and dogs, and these aliens they were legal, not illegal. And it just, I mean, he tells these lies every day, Ken, about the Biden administration taking money away from the response teams that's going to all these places, especially in Asheville, because they've given all their money to the illegals for food and whatever. I mean, I don't see why people can't see through this, but I just don't understand it, Ken.
Well, Fox News, there's a report today. I didn't see this in my own eyes. There's a report today that Fox News got a fact sheet from the Republican leadership in the House of Representatives. Let me phrase, from Republicans in the House of Representatives. And the Republicans have been putting together information to debunk some of the things that are being said about FEMA. And according to the story today, the fact sheet that Fox News has obtained pretty much debunks everything that Mr. Trump has said about FEMA in the past few days. I'm not sure why it's Republicans that are putting that fact sheet together, but evidently they are.
Well, they might be afraid of another lawsuit, Ken. You remember Dominion, remember? I mean, they can't sit up there and deliberately lie and then, you know,
Well,
tell the public.
but the members of the House of Representatives can. It's Republicans
Yes,
in the House who apparently have put together this fact sheet. They don't have to worry about a lawsuit.
right, but I'm talking about Fox News is what I'm
Well,
talking
right.
about. I mean, they said for a week now, yeah. I mean, they've been running this trail with this response teams just about ever since the hurricane hit. And, you know, it's about time they told the truth. But I don't know, Ken. I just don't understand why people want to follow that. I just don't understand the Republican Party. The Republican Party, you know, it used to be for foreign nations sticking together and all kind of good stuff. But when Trump came in, it seemed like the Republican Party just turned into a cult, and all their followers, the politicians, the Republican politicians, House, Senate, and whatever, even local government, you know, they're afraid if they say one bad word about Trump, they will be primaried, but they're there to do a job, not to just sit around and agree with everything he wants done, right, wrong, or indifferent. And I just don't get that either, Ken.
Well, we're talking about politicians and whether they're Republicans or Democrats, the thing they want most is to be reelected. So politicians, by and large, will do what gives them the best chance of being reelected, and that's how their behavior ought to be gauged, no matter which party they belong to.
I agree. I certainly agree. But, you know, the made the Republican Party is just spineless now compared to what it used to be. I Googled that Hurricane Hazel last night. It hit North Carolina on October the 15th, 1954.
54, okay.
Yeah, October 15th, 1954.
What details did you find about it?
You know, it started out when it hit the coast, it was a Category 4 hurricane when it first hit. But it did a lot of damage, you know, tremendous amount of damage. At that time, it was the most strongest hurricane ever hit North Carolina.
It was a terrible hurricane on the coast. It was.
Yeah. Ken, on the race, I don't want to change my pick, but if SVG happens to not be in it, I'd like to go with the number 24.
24,
But if he's in it,
24 is your contingency pick.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think SVG will be there, but you'll be protected either way.
I hope so. Again, I appreciate it, and thanks for taking my call, and have a good weekend.
Thanks for calling. Phone line is open. There's a number up there on the screen, and the email address, most likely, is up there as well. The North Carolina General Assembly today unanimously, when's the last time something passed unanimously in the North Carolina General Assembly? Well, it did today, a relief package for Western North Carolina Hurricane Helene victims. The General Assembly approved $273 million right away, and they describe this as a down payment because they acknowledge, and I'm sure they're right, that this is going to be a process that'll go far beyond $273 million in the amount of assistance that people will be needing from the state. The federal government will also match this money. So it will, in effect, I believe the federal government will match $250 million. So in effect, it'll be a little over $500 million that'll be made available because of the action of the General Assembly today. And again, it passed unanimously. The leaders of the houses, Phil Berger and Tim Moore, said that they will be back in session later this month to evaluate what more they need to do. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Ken. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, thank you. Excuse me. Start off with does the people out there know that Trump gave $25 million of his own money to Western Carolina?
I don't know if they know that or not, but now they know.
Yeah. And, you know, people that watch the Cartoon News Network and the MSNBC mess, they're really sick if they believe what they're hearing from those people. Those people believe. I mean, they lied to them in the beginning about Biden's abilities and everything, and they were proven to have been liars for the last 3.5 years. But no one realizes that. Oh, they do realize it, but don't care. They still want to hear the garbage. They still want to hear the stuff that's been twisted around from the truth to the way they want it to sound to the people. So, you know, if people that watch that and believe in that, there's some really, really stupid people, but not pushing their own brains around a little bit to find out more than just what they're told and what they hear. And so, you know, they're pitiful, they're ignorant, and they just can't help the drama that they love instead of the truth that they should seek. You know, the truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. And so, you know, it's just some weird people out there that.
And of course, you're talking about the people as a group, and not any one particular person.
Well, it could be one particular person.
Well,
or more.
don't let it be one. Don't let it be one particular person.
I say that. I said, or it could be a group. I'm leaving it to anybody's thoughts. They got their own thoughts to figure out what I'm saying. I'm not saying it to anybody's name or person. It can be used to a person or a group.
Okay, we understand.
Okay, and you know, people think that Trump has been such a terrible, bad person and lies all the time, and his records got sent to home, and no telling who's seen them. Well, at least he didn't hide them in Chinatown and in the trunk of a car in a garage where Junior had access to it. And, you know, at least he didn't get set free because he was proven to be incompetent to stand trial. And now if you look, Biden is about as competent as any man can be out there talking right now. Only thing is his little walking's a little shuffling, but he's as competent to stand trial right now as any man is for the documents he took home, spread into Chinatown.
Let me mention one thing quickly. We're referring to the Hur report now. I don't know if you read the Hur. Did you read the Hur report?
No, I heard parts, but I didn't read it all.
Okay. He did not say that Joe Biden was not competent to stand trial. That's not what he said. He said that he was not going to prosecute Joe Biden first because he said there were multiple alternative explanations for what happened with Biden's records. Those are his words, multiple alternative explanations, many of which would involve no crime being committed. And we wouldn't be able to prove to a jury that one was applicable above any other because they would all be equally likely. That is why he said he didn't prosecute the president. He did not say the president was not competent to stand trial. So I just want to make sure we're straight on that.
Now you're giving out false information. I've got it on recorded. I remember the date it was said. I remember where it was said, when it was said, who said it.
You're talking about in his testimony. Oh, let me finish. In his testimony before Congress, he said the jury would be very sympathetic to President Biden because the jury would view him as an elderly man with a poor memory. That's not the same thing. Not competent to stand trial is a legal process. That's a legal declaration that no court ever made.
An old man who don't have a memory to stand trial.
Well, now let me make sure I'm making this clear. We're talking about two different things. One is the opinion of Mr. Hur, and that is that, first of all, there are other explanations for the act, and second of all, that the jury would be very sympathetic. He said the jury would be very sympathetic to the president because they would view him as an elderly man with a poor memory. The other thing, incompetent to stand trial, that is a legal declaration that can only be made by a judge. So there are two different things. He said the first, he didn't say the second.
Okay, well, when stuff like that comes out, I've got it on record from the beginning of the first thing said about stuff like that.
Well, and what I've just described to you, I think, is exactly what he said.
Well, but you're going by a report. You're going by the Her report.
I'm going by what the investigator, the special prosecutor, put and wrote in his report. That's the official record.
Well, they've been in their hind pockets the whole time. Ken, you think you're going to write something bad about it? I mean, come on, we know the truth. We know what's really happened, what's really out there,
Well,
what's really going
again,
on.
I've said many times, I don't know what people think. All I know is what people say, and that is what Mr. Herr said.
Yeah, Tim Waltz.
Right, I know him, yeah.
And Gene Simmons. All Tim Waltz needs is his pom-poms. He's a Gene Simmons replica.
I haven't seen Gene Simmons lately. Is that what he looks like now?
Don't care to. Didn't ever want to, and still don't want to.
All right, now hold on a sec. Hang on. I wrote you down for the 5. Is that right?
No, I'll let you know before. I'll send you an email with who I'm going to pick. You can leave that down right now, and I'll send you an email on who I'm going to pick.
All right. Well, you let me know.
Okay. All right. I'll send it to you shortly.
All right. Thanks a lot for calling.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Let's see who's over here. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken.
Yes.
Look, I know that you try to point out facts, but at certain times, when people don't know who won the election and all, after all this time and all, how are you going to present correctable facts and expect them to comprehend it?
Well, now let's just let me say, I don't think it's a matter of people not comprehending. I think it's a matter. I guess what I was talking about is a legal distinction, and most people might not be aware of this.
I understand.
The declaration that somebody is incompetent to stand trial has to be made in court. And until that declaration is made in court, it is not part of the process. And that's the only thing that I was pointing out.
I understand, but look, they talked about MSNBC and those stations. I watched Fox today. Fox debunked Trump lies right there. Fox did. Now, that's the show he said everybody should watch. Everybody should watch Fox. Fox debunked Trump lies.
Right. That's the sheet that Fox got from the Republicans in the House.
From the Republicans. That information didn't come from liberals. While I'm thinking about it, put the liberal down for number 5.
Okay, liberal has number 5. It's in the book.
All right, let me make a little quick statement just within my time frame.
Okay.
My statement is, how low down can one be to lie about a tragedy such as Hurricane Helen to benefit one personally? Trump stated the governor of Georgia couldn't reach Biden when the Republican governor discounted that within 24 hours. Trump stated at his rally, the crowd went wild at his debate. And look, there was no crowd. Crowd was not allowed. So, I mean, that is ridiculous. And this past week, he said people were dying because of no FEMA help. And his own VP, Vance, told Governor Youngkin of Virginia that FEMA had done a wonderful job. So, I mean, it's ridiculous when you lie, and anybody with a brain can see you lie. And I thought one of the worst things was sitting 3 hours while a mob attempted to hang his VP. I thought that was on the low list. But when you lie to tragic people that have lost everything they have and just mentally depraved and physically and financially, and you lie to them about for your personal gain, so they don't seek government assistance they entitled to. You can't scrape the barrel no lower than that. And I don't care if gas come down to 50 cents a gallon. I don't want nobody, I'm not voting for nobody that scrape the barrel and lie. I should have known better when those people at his fake university, those elderly people, lost their whole income. But no, he always goes further lower than he was the last time. And I thank you for your time, Ken.
Well, thank you for calling. Let's see who's over here. Hi, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening to you, Ken.
Good evening.
Sir, I have to start here, and I apologize for this. I hold a master's, and I resent the caller's implications that I'm stupid or ignorant.
All right. We note that.
And all right, with that said, let's go back to the subject of the Bob Woodward book. I'm a man well into my 70s. History and observation and evidence has shown me that of the three players in that particular episode, shall we say, one of them has demonstrated to me in my lifetime his truthfulness, where the other two have done the exact opposite, but have lied to me every time they opened their mouth.
Okay.
So I think that that's what people want. When we're talking about the Woodward book, yes, Putin denies the phone calls, but yes, Putin and his other Kremlin aides have agreed that yes, Trump did send them COVID tests. Plain and simple.
That's what he
So
said.
if people want to sit here and believe otherwise, I don't know what to think. It's flabbergasting to me. When in our lifetime, if we look at it, Bob Woodward told us the truth, didn't he?
Well, in the Watergate years, as far as we know, he did.
That's correct. Has Trump ever told me the truth about anything? I'll be honest, no. Not at all. Not at all. And to the statement that Trump gave $25 million of his own money out of his pocket to Western North Carolina, I say prove it to me. I haven't heard anything other than that. And I assure you that if that was actually the fact, that would have been front page news, wouldn't it?
Well, I had not heard anything about that either until the caller mentioned it. So I don't know.
So at the end of the day, I'm left wondering, given all the time and all the history and everything we've seen and everything we've heard, why does the MAGA crowd still support this man?
Well, I obviously don't have an answer to that. But I've been wondering for a very long time why all of us still continue to support our current political system and structure.
Touche.
I don't know, but we do.
Touche. Indeed, touche. But now that closes. To give you a closing thought, when we were in school, we studied different governmental systems, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And at the end of the day, what we learned was There's just simply different systems of governing depending upon where you are in the world. Plain and simple. And it's always been that way. But yet we want to say that our way is better than theirs, and well, maybe it is in some ways, maybe it isn't. But, at the end of the day, it's just a governmental system that, frankly, we've told from the beginning, it's a republic if you can keep it. It's an experiment. And I've said to you before, it sure looks like the experiment is a failure.
Well, if we look at history, the average lifespan of democracies, I don't know, we don't have a pure democracy, so I acknowledge that, but it's the word
Republic.
we use. The
Right.
average lifespan of democracies is less than 200 years, and we're
Right.
beyond 200 years now.
We're beyond the lifespan of it, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
All right. Well, anyway, I just wanted to say, I don't quite get it when we actually open it. Here's what I've learned, Ken. We, and I say universally as the American public, when we vote with mood and feeling. We don't vote with cognitive process.
That's right. And the political consultants know that, and that's how they work us.
Touche. All right. And I've taken up far too much time. Thank you, Ken. Have a good evening.
Thanks for calling. Good to talk to you. Let's read some emails here, because I have a feeling I'm pretty far behind on emails. So far behind, I can't even find. Yes, here we go. Hello, Ken. I haven't received the race points. Have you sent them out? No, it's not a quirky thing this time. It is that I haven't gotten around to sending them out yet. It's been a busy week in here, and I apologize for that. I will send those points out tonight. Hi, Ken. I think someone in Martinsville was goofing off and playing golf on the computer during your show. Golf again. Whoa. How's Mark doing? And will you all ever do another Purple show? I miss those shows, and I thought Mark had said you may start back doing those occasionally. As far as I am concerned, emailer, I mean, I certainly would like to do some more Purple shows, but I don't know what Mark's thoughts and position would be on that right now. I know that when Mark left the station, he had the intention of doing more shows, but whether or not he still has that intention, I don't know. But I am prepared at any time. This emailer says people like Trump for many reasons, but I believe the main reason is that Trump represents those of us who were forgotten by both, in all capital letters, both parties. I'm a Democrat at heart, but my party has gone off the deep end. The fact that people like Dick Cheney are supporting Harris tells me I'm right. This election is not Democrat versus Republican. It's the uniparty versus common sense. I'm glad to be voting for Trump, and I am not the only Democrat who is. Trump will win, and so Democrats might as well prepare for MAGA. And when they riot, which they will, I hope they are all treated just like the January 6th defendants. And by the way, you can remind people that after Hurricane Katrina, Democrats made it political and went after President Bush. I know because I was in the middle of Katrina, and I was one of the Democrats who did. Okay, emailer, thank you very much for that message. This one says, hello, Ken. I am watching on a delay tonight and restarted the YouTube live feed from the very beginning. I'm pretty sure you did not know you were already broadcasting because you and Martinsville were discussing a useless question. You then went on to say, oh gosh, this was on you. You then went on to say, does anyone take their pants off And also, I'm not wearing any pants right now. Just letting you know that you might want to remember you might already be broadcasting on YouTube before the other feeds go live. Thanks for your show, and please put some pants on. I found that out. I found that out after we had had our little discussion. I am wearing pants. Honestly, I do have pants. My wife does not allow me to walk around the house without pants, even up here in the privacy of my own attic. I'm I, I am not allowed to sit here without any pants on. So don't worry about that. And it'd be certainly a terrible burden on the minds of many people if they thought I did not have any pants on. So I do. Um, and thank you. Thank you for noticing. Let's see. Mr. Draper says, I choose Chase Elliott this week. All right. Before I do anything else, let me mark through that 5 and put a 9 for Mr. Draper. Then he says, FEMA's been a joke from the beginning up there. They stopped clothes from being delivered. Explain that, please. Now it's down in the 30s. They're trying to be run off their land. BlackRock is buying the mineral rights for... Who cares if Trump sent Putin COVID tests? Nobody to liberals. Trump said he gave 25,000 on live TV. I see it all. We support Trump to save this nation from socialism and communism. We're the best place in the world. I don't like it. Leave it. All right. So that's Chase Elliott from Mr. Draper. I make sure I write that so that I can actually read it this time. Also, in the midst of all that, I put my phone down so I won't pick it up to read it again. In the midst of all that, we heard from Captain Midnight and the Lady in Black, and they have selected the 19 for the Roval. So that's everybody except, and also the Avenger has checked in, and the Avenger takes the 11, Denny Hamlin. We've heard from everybody except Tar Heel in Mayodan, and Tar Heel, it's not out of the ordinary for Tar Heel to email his pick in on Thursday night. So I probably will hear from Tar Heel in Mayodan tomorrow night with his pick. For the Roval, right now it's Citizen D, the 24, Liberal, the 5, Charles, the 12, Jack, the 45, Early Bird, the 9, Mr. Pelham, SVG, Mr. Draper, the 9, Captain Midnight, and the Lady in Black. The 19, Mark, the 9, Pretty Man, SVG, Nice Guy, 9, Avenger, 11, Leon, 20, Mr. Leaksville, 24, and Mr. Wentworth, 45. And that is what we have to this point. So there's that. Email about Medicare. Ken, there is in 2025 an out-of-pocket limit for if you're on Medicare and have Medicare Part D, a limit to what you will have to spend on prescription drugs not covered by your Medicare drug plan. Do you know what that limit will be for 2025? And can you say so on the air if you do know? And if you don't know, can you look it up? Yeah. Well, I don't have to look this one up, emailer. The out-of-pocket cap for Medicare beneficiaries on Part D for 2025 is $2,000. $2,000 will be the limit. That is as much as you will have to spend out of pocket for prescription drugs not covered by your Part D plan. $2,000 for 2025. This emailer wonders, have they opened up any of the Blue Ridge Parkway? I love to go to the Blue Ridge Parkway and drive along in the fall to see all the colorful leaves. Can you even get on the Blue Ridge Parkway right now? Not in North Carolina. You cannot get on the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. It's closed until further notice. And I expect it's going to be a good long while before that further notice comes. So do not plan to go to the mountains and cruise the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. You can, as far as I know, in Virginia. Um, I think it's, to my knowledge, it's open in Virginia. So they have trees and leaves in Virginia too, but not in North Carolina. There's just too much going on. They haven't. I don't think they've had an opportunity yet to even inspect the parkway to see what damage there might be, because they're doing. They've got far more important duty, um, trying to save people's lives and assist people affected by the storm. So it'll probably be weeks, matter of weeks, before they even get around to a close inspection of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Ken, you said the other night that Elon Musk was going to give free internet service to people in Western North Carolina, but I read that he's going to charge for it. What is the straight fact about that? Uh, the straight fact about Elon Musk and his Starlink internet service is this. The first announcement was that Elon Musk would provide a month, 1 month of free Starlink internet to people in Western North Carolina affected by Hurricane Helene. And then we read the fine print, and here's what the fine print says. Yes, Elon Musk will allow folks to access the internet through Starlink without a monthly internet fee for the rest of October. Uh, on November 1st, Mr. Musk would begin billing people $120 a month for that. But there's actually a bigger catch than that. The impression, and I don't know if he actually said that. I'm not going to accuse him of actually saying this because I don't know if he did. The impression that people had was that he would provide not only the internet service, but also the hardware necessary for people to get internet service through his Starlink. But the fact of it is, in order to get the month, I guess at this point it would be 3 weeks of free internet service, you have to buy the Starlink hardware from Elon Musk. And the cost of the hardware and the cost of shipping and all of that comes to $391. So you can get the free internet after you pay $391 to buy the hardware from Elon Musk. So, emailer, those are the actual facts about that. And finally, this one. Ken, I know you don't like to talk about politics, and I understand why you don't like to talk about politics. I don't like to talk about politics either. Well, that's you and me. Um, but you do have great patience allowing everybody to express their own opinion, and when necessary, you will point out a factual matter when a factual matter needs to be pointed out. But you don't interfere with people expressing their opinions. And you're one of the few people who does not interfere with people expressing their opinions. So I think that's a good thing. Although I wish nobody would, I wish nobody would talk about politics on your show, just like you, I suppose. Yeah. Well, that is all the time we have for Star Talk tonight. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Oh, wait, before we go, one more time. Stew, this is important. Stew available on October 19th from the Boy Scouts in Mayodan, $9 a quart. It's 336-949-4248. Now, we're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I hope you'll join us for our next show. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Echols. All right, I'll send you.